Hello and welcome to a special episode of Transformative Principal. My name is Jethro Jones and I thank you for listening to this. This weekend I was at the 49th Annual Alaska Principals Association Conference, and it was a great opportunity to connect with peers here in Alaska and learn more about them. I'm going to do an interview here in a minute with Rod Morrison, the president of the Alaska Association of Secondary School Principals, and Mary McMahon, the president-elect. And by the time you hear this, they will have changed roles and Mary will be the president. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this conference first. One of the things I love about going to conferences is being able to get to know people, network with people, learn more about them, and see the amazing things that are going on in our schools. My assistant principal, Damon Hargraves, and I also did 3 presentations. We talked about the amazing things that we're doing with RTI at our school, where we are actually providing real Tier 1, 2, and 3 instruction for all of our students and doing it on both ends of the spectrum. So we're not just reaching down and picking up our low kids, but we're also providing those Tier 2 opportunities and Tier 3 opportunities for our students who are successful, which is really, really awesome. We talked about the Picker app that we developed, and I hope that you'll check out more information about that at picker.org. It's how we are doing our Tier 2 interventions for both our struggling students and our students who are achieving. So that was pretty awesome. We also talked about the eye observation with the Marzano model that we've been using at our school and how we've used that to improve instruction school-wide. And then the other one we did was about student learning objectives and how we are taking a team approach to that and making it less stressful on our teachers by walking them through the process and giving them support the whole way through. And so far, gotten really good feedback about those sessions, and hopefully people will take the stuff back and do things with them. If you were in one of the sessions, please feel free to reach out to me and I will be happy to give you any assistance. If you weren't in the sessions, you can go to my website, jethrojones.com/akprincipals2015. That's jethrojones.com/akprincipals2015. And you can get more information about the presentations. You can download the handouts and everything that we did. So I'd love it if you check that out. One of the other things that I want to talk about briefly before we get going is that going to a conference and being able to learn from others is a great time to really make change at your school. It's a good time to reset. It's a good time to step away from everything and focus on doing something amazing for your kids. And if you were at the conference, I hope you will do that, and I hope that you will share that with the rest of us who were at the conference also, so that we can be inspired and learn as well. I also created a Voxer group for the Alaska Principals Association. So if you are in Alaska, and if you're not in Alaska and you want to join another Voxer group, we'd love to have you also. But the group is #AKPrincipals. And so if you'd like to join that on Voxer, please do. I would love to have you. And I've got a link in the show notes on how to do that. Now, if you are new to this podcast and you are listening to it because you were at the conference and you got it as part of that, please go ahead and subscribe to it in iTunes or go to transformativeprincipal.org and you can get all the information about it there. Thank you so much for listening. And here is my interview with the president and president-elect on the eve of the final day of the conference. All right, welcome to Transformative Principal. I'm here with Mary McMahon, the president-elect for about 7-8 more hours, and Rod Morrison, the president of Alaska Association of Secondary School Principals. And we just are partway through the conference, almost done. And I just wanted to take some time and get to hear their feedback and what they've thought of the conference. So, Mary, let's start with you. You're the principal of Colony Middle School, and you are going to take over the reins tomorrow. What are your thoughts about how the conference gone so far?
Well, I know that we put a lot of work into creating a conference that was going to meet the needs of principals statewide. And the theme, the passionate present principal, has hit a home run with everyone. with all that we have going on in our schools and in our districts that we have to do. We are working harder than ever before to do everything that we need to do to meet the mandates and the needs of our kids and to make it all work. And right now we just needed a shot in the arm of true rejuvenation and connectivity and passion. And I would say that we have had the best keynotes we've ever had in the last 2 days. And we've had amazing sectionals that are diverse and meeting the needs of all of our members. I've heard nothing but positive feedback across the board. The energy at our conference this year is just an all-time high. People are connecting, getting excited about the great work that we do, and are empowered and inspired to go back and be the principal that they need to be in their schools for their students and staff. I mean, it's just, to me, we've always tried to have a conference that was at a similar caliber to one on the national level, and we finally did it. The 49th Annual Principal Conference is the one that if anyone missed it, they missed out.
And that's awesome that it's the 49th annual. We're in the 49th state. That's a great place to be. So I'm really glad that it's been going so well. As my first time coming to the Principals Conference in Alaska, I personally have learned a ton and met a lot of really great people. So it's been an awesome experience for me. All right, Rod, I forgot what school you're the principal of. Sorry. Gilson Middle School in Valdez. So talk about why this conference mattered so much to you and why you wanted to make it so great.
This conference is a big deal to me. I could remember my very first conference 13 years ago in Alaska, sitting in a chair, not knowing anybody in the room and kind of worried about what was going to happen. This is such a great place to network with the great leaders we have in Alaska. I firmly believe every student in Alaska needs an excellent principal. And to do that, you have to build a network of support. Some of the best ideas I've ever received were from this conference. I've been to the national conference several times, and our goal was to make this a national conference caliber, and this year we did it. The excitement in the room, the excitement of pre-registration, giving the book away to principals, it's been outstanding. It's been the least amount of stress I've had at any of these conferences. I've been involved with the association for 8 years, and this one has been the best. It'll be awfully hard to top next year.
But I think that we're going to. What is the plan for topping next year?
We have ideas to bring the National Digital Principal of the Year from the NASP Association to our conference next year. We are taking all feedback from the online registration feedback that we receive from the members, and we're just going to enhance and up our game every year. And we already have great ideas from people who've shared with us ways that we can make it better, and we're going to continue to ask for ideas, adding new members and to our board, which is exciting. And I hope you're one of them for the Region 3 Yes, Region 3 seat. I'm hoping we're going to make that happen. The more we add great people to our network, and we can provide an amazing and quality opportunities for everyone around the state. So that's our goal, is just to continue to build and grow great things in Alaska for everyone.
I would just like to add to that, the Alaska team is an outstanding team. Last year, Mary, myself, Mario, several principals at the national conference, and guess who we saw present? John Bryant and Principal Caffelli. And we were inspired and said, we need these people in Alaska. So we reach out to the national conferences. We've talked about doing an ed camp next year's conference, which will allow local leaders to get together and talk about things that they're expertise in or things that need help in. I really believe this conference is as exciting as a national conference, partially because of the work of our Alaska team and what we've done to make it what it is today.
One of the things that I've noticed since being new to Alaska is that we have very unique challenges that other areas just don't have. The rural and bush sites that we have and dealing with the challenges that are there. How do you make a conference that is focused on not just Anchorage and Matsu districts, but on the whole entire state? And how do you meet the needs of such a diverse population here?
That's definitely one of the ideas that we have. We focus this year on providing a diverse array of choices and sectionals and presenters, all of a high quality caliber to meet the needs. And every topic was something that's important to any leader in education. However, next year, we plan to have a rural strand, an assistant principal strand, and we plan to have that ed camp where we can bring people together and discuss what are our needs and tap into the expertise within our state. We have a vast, diverse state, And we have the talent within our state. We just need that opportunity in that space to learn and grow together.
Awesome. Any thoughts from you, Rod, on that?
You know, the rural part of Alaska is unique to our state. And I'm not from Atsu. I'm not from Anchorage. I'm from Valdez. And I can remember when I landed in Valdez, there were two of the principals in our district, but they were just on their years out. And professionally, I had to reach out and network with other local leaders. And that's where I made these connections to this conference. I met with people. I sat together and got ideas. And I would say professionally, this conference has been the difference in my career as a principal. I'm not sure I'd have made it if I didn't have a network of support. And in Alaska, we have to reach out. We're a very large state, but we're a real small education community.
Yeah, my assistant principal, Damon Hargraves, is from Alaska, and so he pretty much knows everybody, it seems. We go anywhere, and he's, shaking hands with everybody and knows who everybody is. So that's something that I've seen very quickly, is that we are very small as far as our relationships go, even though the state is gigantic, and we're very far away from each other. In closing, what is one thing that someone can do this week to be a transformative principal?
Wow, that's a great question. I would say this week, take those ideas that you got from the conference and implement them back home. There are so many amazing ideas that hit us all at different levels. And I know one thing that I'm going to do when I go back home is figure out how to have a school that John Hope Bryant talked about, where we have students pitch a 2-minute idea. And if they then we fund it and we give them a business suit, business cards, and we get them connected to a business mentor in the community. Our superintendent already told me that she's going to fund it and make it happen. That's exciting to me. And if we can turn our schools around where we connect what's happening in our schools to success for everyone in their future, it's a direct correlation, then we're going to hit the mark. And everything we learned was so worthwhile. So I would say everyone read those books that the keynotes provided us, and let's continue to have this conversation. Principal Caffelli's Principal 50, I plan to provide it through ASDN. This is my commitment to all of you. ASDN, a course that anyone in the state of Alaska can take, where I facilitate it, but we all lead it, answering those Principal 50 questions together. I think we need to dive deep in those questions and figure out learn from one another on what we're doing to answer those questions and rise to the challenge of what Principal Caffelli asks us in those questions to do.
What I'm taking home from this conference back to my school is exactly the theme of our conference was passionate and present. I intend to share with my students the passion that was at this conference, as well as my staff, and be present for them as well. One of the successes we have in Valdez is being there for our students, but also being there for our staff. Climate is such a vital role to what we do, and whether you're motivating a student, motivating a staff, or motivating your community, we can't miss the mark by helping with the climate. And what I've taken home from this conference is going to actually help my school succeed.
Great. And how can people get in touch with you to learn more and learn from you?
Look me up on Twitter, Facebook. You can contact me at Colony Middle School. My email's on the homepage, or through AASSP, as tomorrow I'll be the president. And I'm super excited to be the voice for every principal in Alaska.
You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Google my school, Gilson Middle School in Valdez. Be more than happy to help in any way I can. When I go back to the Alaska team, there isn't one Alaska principal that wouldn't be willing to help. So reach out and use the support that's here in our state.
Awesome. At Colony Principal and at GMS Huskies. All right. Thank you so much for being part of this. So as you can tell from listening to these dedicated principals, we are going to have a great time next year at the AASP conference. And I hope that if you are listening to this, you can join us. It's going to be a pretty amazing opportunity to address the unique challenges that we face in Alaska and help make our state better for our students. Thank you so much for listening. This is Transformative Principal Podcast. You can find out more about it at transformativeprincipal.org, and you can follow me on Twitter at Jethro Jones or at TRNFRM Principal. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.
Transformative Principal is a proud member of the Edu Podcast Network. If you want to learn something new, check out Jennifer Gonzalez's Cult of Pedagogy podcast. She's got a great website with beautiful design and produces really great content all the time.